The boreal forest of the Nullhegan Basin is home to a wide variety of rare plant and animal species. Located in northern Essex County in the Northeast Kingdom of Vermont, this area is a nature lover's paradise. There's good public access, and visitors have an excellent chance of spotting moose and a host of birds unique to the boreal forest. Until recently, it was the only area in Vermont where you could find spruce grouse, something Vermont wildlife biologists hope to change.
They're a beautiful bird. The male has that bright red eyebrow. There's a lot of speckled black and white, and the females are also very pretty. They have a very interesting courtship display that they conduct in April and May. So they're part of our native fauna. Very pretty bird. Birders love to see them, and we are on the periphery of the range, the southern periphery, so it is a treat for Vermonters and visitors to Vermont to be able to see the bird here and not have to travel north into Canada to see it.
Spruce grouse thrive in the boreal forest, a nearly contiguous region dominated by spruce and fir trees that stretches from northern Maine to Alaska. Early settlers called spruce grouse fool hens because they often allow humans to approach within a few yards before flushing. This trait played a role in their decline in New England during the 19th century when they were taken for food, but the leading cause was the loss of habitat due to unregulated logging. With only about 200 birds in Vermont, spruce grouse have been on the state's endangered species list since 1988. Thanks to a state wildlife grant from the federal government, the Vermont Fish and Wildlife Department has started a program to reintroduce spruce grouse to a second location in the state, with the hope of someday removing the bird from the endangered list.
We selected this site mainly because the birds used to be here. Victory Basin is really the second largest boreal basin in the state of Vermont, next to the Nullhegan Basin. The Nullhegan Basin is where our current population exists. Birds used to be here. There's a couple of specimens at the Fairbanks Museum that came from around 1896 from here. So we're returning the birds to habitat they used to be in. It's the next best habitat next to the Nullhegan Basin.
To re-establish a population in the Victory Basin, birds from Quebec and Maine will be trapped and transferred to Vermont. The trap and transferred method has been used to successfully re-establish several species in Vermont, including beavers and wild turkeys. With assistance from the Maine Department of Inland Fisheries and Wildlife, Vermont biologists quickly gained experience in capturing spruce grouse in the Moosehead Lake region of Maine.
We've got some prime spruce grouse habitat here right now. We've got blueberries, which have been key this summer, and the birds are hitting them pretty hard, but we've also got back here spruce trees, and we've got actually a larch here, and this is really what spruce grouse need. They need a thick conifer canopy, and they need the food source during the summer. During the winter time, they'll be eating those needles and staying in the thick cover.
Over the course of a 3 to 4 week period, Vermont biologists will spend long hours in the woods trying to capture as many spruce grouse as possible.
Yeah, looks like we've got a male over here.
They're captured with snare poles, so it's a telescoping fiberglass fishing rod. And so you can carry it through the woods. It's only 5 feet long, but it extends out to 14 feet. It has a noose tied on the end of it with a stop knot made out of monofilament. And because the birds are fairly docile, you can usually finagle the noose right around their neck and then bring them down to the ground. And then you have them.
That's how you catch a spruce grouse.
Each bird is weighed and then outfitted with 2 leg bands.
We're banding the bird now. Each bird is getting a unique color combination, so if they're sighted in Victory, we can go ahead and see who was sighted. We know that they're still alive and doing well. Each bird also is getting a metal tag that has a unique ID number.
The final step before sending the birds to Vermont is outfitting the adults with tiny radio-transmitting collars, which let biologists keep track of the birds after they are released.
We're hoping that from collaring the birds, we can monitor their movements, we can see what habitats they're using, where they're spending each season, how they're interacting even with each other during breeding season, and just keep tabs on mortality and survivorship and seeing how they disperse in the valley as well.